So you guys know Mike Adams. He was the founder of naturalnews.com, I believe. He also got nailed off of YouTube. Complete ban. He's gone forever. He got tired of it and said, you know what, I'm going to create my own video website. Real Video or whatever, real.video. And so he did. And he has a video over there I was watching. And plain and simple is he thinks, you know, we got midterms coming up, and Alex Jones got insta-banned on numerous platforms all within a few hours. That would, to me, honestly, without even talking about this, when I heard that, I thought to myself, wasn't that strange? I mean, are all these media companies talking together on a conference call? Hey, let's all ban Alex Jones at the same time? I mean, you'd have thought something had to have happened like that. If someone gets nailed like that, and off of multiple platforms within hours of each other, that tells me that this was a coordinated event. Which means, well, it brings me to my next question, which same with Mike Adams, which is why I'm talking to you. If they're going hardcore and banning, they try to get rid of SGT report, you saw that, nailing people with conservative views left and right. And most conservative views, I say most, some, many, whatever, don't believe the official line coming from A, government, and B, media. One way or the other, no matter what we're seeing, no matter what they're telling us, we just don't believe it. So people would go to YouTube and voice their opinion on, I don't believe what they just told me. I think that's a crock of crap, you know, whatever. So, are they banning everybody, conservatives, strictly for midterms, so that we can't report on, hey, no, don't vote for that person. That person is part of the club or part of the, you know, vote. This is the guy you want, you know, or this is the lady you want. Is it just for that, or like according to Mike Adams thinks, his opinion, anyways, something far greater is coming between now and midterms? That's going to be blasted all over the news, media. Some kind of event in which he says, the conservative views won't be allowed to say anything. Only the officialdom story will be out on YouTube, on the news, CNN, everything else. And no one will be able to say anything anywhere because they've been banned off of the major platforms, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Twitters. That's what he's thinking. So I originally thought to myself, well, they want to win the midterms. They have to. It's absolutely do or die right now. It is do or die for the Democrats. So I figured, yeah, they're probably banning people in advance so that when all the commercials run and they put it all on TV, which they're starting to now, our voices, you know, or the conservative voices aren't heard. Therefore, oh, I heard on the news tonight, you know, I saw a commercial come on, not the news, but TV show commercial came on for this representative, and they don't have the opposing conservative view to say, no, hey, listen, that's not the person you want to vote for. Here's why. Or whatever. Mike Adams thinks it's not just going to be that. Not just going to be, let's keep the conservatives quiet because we want to get our people in the midterms. He feels there'll be something else they try to pull in between now and the midterms. And he thinks it could be something to do with even the media, CNN, or like you hear some kind of news story of live breaking news at CNN facility or at, hell, you know, one of the media giants. That's what he's thinking. He doesn't know what, but something to where people, conservatives, wouldn't be allowed to basically come out and say, oh, that's BS, or that's this, or that's they're lying to us, or whatever, because they don't exist anymore. They've been wiped clean off of YouTube, the conservatives. That would be talking, you know, the ones with the big followers. Natural News had a huge amount of followers. Alex Jones had like over 2 million, 2.5 million, I think. And again, they scrubbed him off their Facebook, of Instagram, like all these different things. They nailed him all within hours. So again, is it just because of midterms, or is there something else? I have no idea. I really don't. But I saw this little video, and it really, it's a Zero Hedge article, honestly. Is where I got this from Zero Hedge. And thought, you know, it's an interesting point of view, because I'm just thinking to myself, oh, they just don't want us to, us conservatives or whatever, to tell people about the corruption or the fraud that this person on TV that's trying to run for office to take over a Democratic seat or whatever has been involved in. Well, let's just hush that up. Well, they'll destroy everybody off our platforms. So again, this is like do or die, in my opinion, because of the midterms. That they've got to shut everybody up. But I'll be honest, I think it's far too late. The shenanigans these people pulled during an election time, which hasn't been anything new, right? But it became new to a lot of people when it was exposed. Polls have Hillary winning a 98%, 95% chance. She's got this in the bag. She's going to be, the first lady is now going to be the first, the former first lady is going to be the president. And then it all went downhill. And I asked this real liberal guy at my work, dude, what do you think happened? The polling data was bad. Across the country? The polls got it wrong across the board? Like this, you can't have that many errors happen. You know what I mean? Maybe one of them got it wrong, or two, but not all of them. Either that or there's only one. And they give it out to everybody else, and everybody else just runs with what they got. Then if the failure's at the one, then it makes sense. And then I'll go a step further. If the failure's at the one poll, main poll issuer, data issuer, we'll call it, who's to say that they didn't give out fake data? Then everyone just runs with it, right? We turn on the news. I've been watching it recently, and they've got, someone. I wish I saved the video, but it was they showed like every local news channel practically in major cities across the country, and they play one, then they play a second one, then they play a third one, fourth one, fifth one, then they play them all together, and they're reading the same script. And it had to do with basically, stopping people from saying things, the truth, this fake truth that these people are putting out on the internet is harmful to our democracy. Our democracy is at stake. Our democracy is at stake. And it's the same thing. Literally, Channel 7, Channel 8, Channel 22, Channel 11, anywhere across this country, they were reading the same script. There's a local news, that is dangerous to our democracy. That is dangerous to our democracy. That is dangerous to our democracy. And they're doing the little news thing, That is dangerous to our democracy. Wow. 50 of you said the same damn thing. Where did you all get that from? Where did you all get that from to run it? They don't even know. Because all they know is, here's your script today, Bill. Hey, Gina, come on in. Here's your script today. We'll have it in your earpiece or the teleprompter, whatever you prefer. And they do what they do every single day and every night when they give the news. They sit down at their desk and they're fed through a teleprompter usually what to say, or an earpiece, what to say. They don't question where they got that from. They don't realize that every other city in the country is saying the same damn thing they said. Maybe they do, maybe they don't care. But chances are they don't even know, because they're just coming in, doing my job, and they're not going to go watch some other news channel in another city, because they're not going to normally see it anyways. They're in this city, and this city has these channels, and that's all you see. For the news anyways, the local news. You don't get to see Orlando, like I'm in Tampa. When I turn on the news at night, it's Bay News 9. Well, it's Tampa area. I don't get to turn on Orlando's news, or Clearwater's news, or whoever. My local cable channel, make sure I have only my local news channels. So you see how that works? It's all compartmentalized, and they spew the same crap. And I thought, well, that particular story they're running is pretty interesting about how it's dangerous to our democracy. Free speech is basically dangerous to our democracy. No. And number one, we don't have technically a democracy. This was founded as a republic, this country. Not a stinking democracy. Why? Because, again, the cycles of government. Look it up. I've done it a million times on YouTube. The cycle, Jason 4, the cycles of government. And some of these people you know very well, philosophers, whatnot, gave their ideas and thoughts on the cycles of government. And I'll say it for the 50,000th time. Democracy is a degenerate type of government, form of government, that is temporary, like most all, but it is a degenerate form. Which is pretty damn interesting, isn't it? So, now you can see why the cycles happen. Democracy grows out of control. Too many people with too much power. You get a guy like Donald Trump in power. He tries to change things. Maybe he can't because all these different departments are stopping him. The people, in history anyways, the people would then overthrow the government. I'm talking kings and queens of the past. They would overthrow the government. The guy who led the way would usually be all right, we want him to be the king. I mean, Jesus, he was leading us. Took our country back, or so to speak, took over the kingdom. He does a great job. He dies. His kids weren't really old enough to know what was happening. They now have power. They start abusing the power because they didn't live through what everyone else did. People are getting upset. You guys have all this power. We're not liking it. The kids freak out. They're adults now. All right, we'll share the power with some elected officials. We'll have a Senate. Okay, and then it works okay for a little bit. Then the Senate gets corrupt, right? And then that's why it goes from that to anarchy to, rule by many, rule by a single individual. Kings, queens, monarchies, etc. And it's a short read actually. It's very short, and I've talked about it many times. I think I've done 2 or 3 videos specifically on it because I felt like, it's time to talk about that again. And I just I wouldn't just re-upload the video. I'd just do a new video and talk about it again. But this is a massive power struggle that's happening in our country. And for most people, you don't even know what's happening. It's under the covers. I don't see anything. But it's massive. It's unprecedented. And again, this is that old guard's, so to speak, last stand with these midterms. If they don't get the Democrats they need in there, the party's over. And I do believe what I've been saying this whole time, Donald Trump being the man he is, there will be things that come out, information, take that one down, that one's taken down because he's actually resigning immediately. And then not only that, this person who's running to take the Democratic seat, who's also a Democrat, got some dirt on him. He's gone. She's gone. Oh, look what just happened. Donald Trump knows these things. He's got the information he needs, in my opinion, anyways. And I think he will use it at the most pristine time. That's my opinion. Now, Mike Adams here, again, is kind of leaning towards, he thinks some kind of major event's going to come on to where the conservatives won't be allowed to speak on YouTube or anywhere else about, hey, we're being led astray here. This is not true, or this is fake, or whatever the hell their reasoning is. They won't be allowed to say it because they're already being wiped off now in advance. Again, I was thinking it was really based off of the midterm thing. But there's a couple of different scenarios there. So I felt like it's at least worth talking about. Take care.